Hello everyone, welcome for this new diary, the adventure and the progression of my Shield Maiden. It's a long time I've not done a diary, it's simply because I wanted to test more my build before to show you something, and now I'm pretty confident and happy about the build I've settled in. It's a build that is adaptable and changeable according to the situation, and I really enjoy the flexibility of this build. So if you recall well, I started to become a Shield Maiden because I wanted to get away from the archetype of the caster healer using a Destro staff and a restoration staff, because I find that everyone was doing it, and as the Elder Scrolls Online is a game where you're supposed to play the game as you want it, I wanted to attempt something different. My first goal was to wear a shield at all time and to not have the restoration staff at all, which is something I discovered was completely stupid, impossible to do, because the restoration staff allow me to regain magicka, while the shields will only allow me to not use magicka, so it's not the same, and the restoration staff is definitively needed to be a good healer, even if not using restoration staff spells. Now, as I say, there's a difference between a build where you want to be original, which is inefficient, and a build that no one has think about, which is efficient. And I believe that I find something good, and I will tell you why I enjoy to be a Shield Maiden so much. In every easy dungeon where you do not need to have the perfect setup, where you do not have to get minimum DPS to be able to kill the boss, so where you can mess up around a little bit in the fight, if you do not have a proper tank, to be a Shield Maiden is super useful, because as healer I will be the best person to off-tank. I don't need to taunt, I don't need to do anything else than healing, and I will get the attention of the mob on me, and then I'm blocking. And sometimes, in some encounter, this is really life-saving, and we can build a strategy around this fact. Now I'm in light armor, so I'm not very solid, but the shield gave a good blocking, so I can survive huge hits sometimes, and it can give the time to the DPS to rest the tank if he was dead, or I can off-tank some adds while the tank is tanking something else. Well, there's a lot of possibilities. I also enjoy it a lot during trash, because I can go on mobs, interrupt them, etc, etc, or in some fight where you have an annoying ads that's appearing, I can charge on it, bash it, interrupt it, and start to DPS a bit on it. But in more difficult content, while it's totally possible to be a good healer with a shield, the shields become pointless. This is something I discovered recently. It makes the fight a bit uncomfortable, because as healer with a shield I need to be in melee of the fight. I cannot just stand in the back, or it's completely pointless to have a shield, and it makes the whole fight a bit dangerous, because I'm still wearing only light armor, so I need to dodge a lot, I need to be sure to block, and as you have a slight delay sometimes on the weapon swap, sometimes you are even blocked into it. It makes the fight very dangerous, and I'm stressed about this. If I don't swap fast enough my weapon, I can let someone die because I don't reach my good spells. And so I decided to go back to restoration stuff for the hardest content, because then it allowed me to have all healing spells that I can want from the game on my 2-bar, and to be more secure about that. I can also stand in the back of the fight like a usual healer will be, and playing a bit more secure, so dodge less and focus more on the pure healing. It's a lot easier and more comfortable, and as I'm going towards more and more difficult content, I think that I need to make my life easier and not too complicated it. But sometimes on some particular fight the shield is better, so I can just swap and be back with my shield, and so it's all good. So for this build, let's see now what I'm using as gear. I'm veteran 4 and I've crafted and got some item crafted by guildies. So here's my character, and I have two sets that I really enjoy. There is the Willow Pass set. When I'm wearing a shield and a sword, I have 5 items of the Willow Pass, which give me 73 max magicka, 4% spell critical, 9 health, and increase all regeneration in combat by 15%, which is nice when I'm using a shield, because I need a bit of stamina, I need a bit of health, and I need a lot of magicka. My second set is the Eyes of Mara, which add me 9 magicka recovery, 73 max magicka, 7 spell damage, and when I weapon swap, as you can see, then I have 5 items of the Eyes of Mara, which reduce the magicka cost of restoration staff abilities by 12%. So I choose the Eyes of Mara over the Seducer, which reduce all cost for all spells by 8%, because I use a lot of restoration staff heal and a little bit less of the Templar heal. Even if Breath of Life is a spell I'm using a lot, I'm still using less than the other restoration staff heal. So now let's see my build. So when I'm a healer with a shield, I'm using biting jabs that I have morphed to have more critical hits, because when I'm fighting in a dungeon, if I need to DPS, it's my only DPS spell, so I want it to be the best as possible. Extended ritual, which allow me to purify the people, to allow them to use the synergy to dispel themselves, to dispel myself, and also to increase my heal while I'm standing in it. Radiant aura that increase the stamina and health regeneration. I try to keep it up at all time. It can help the tanks and the DPS if there's melee DPS. Inner light, which augments my critical spells. And invasion, I enjoy to have a movement and a charge, so I can access to adds very fast or annoying caster, stun it and block it and DPS it a little bit. And empowering sweep, which is my ultimate that I use when DPS is needed, either on trash or when a boss is executable or something like that. My healing bar with this restoration staff doesn't move when I change my build, so it's the same. I use Breath of Life, Combat Prayer, which I've morphed to give more spell damage to the people. Or no, more damage at all. Rapid Regeneration, always the Inner Light. Ward Ally, I find it very useful. And of course this ultimate that I'm not using often, but when I need to do, it's a lifesaver, so it's really needed to have it on my bar. When I'm using the second restoration staff, I have Healing Spring. In some fight it can be very useful to have this in addition, and to have Healing Spring was the only healing spell that were missing from my bar, so I really wanted it, so here it goes. Always Extended Ritual, always Radiant Aura, always Inner Light. For Stephen, I'm using it often to open a fight on a boss, or annoying odds, because it helps a little bit the players that are attacking it to have a little bit more health. And as ultimate, I swap between Soul Strike, which I find very good, that's for one single target, or Nova if the fights require some AoE ultimates. So basically that's it. I hope you find this video enjoyable and informative. Remember that I'm not a min-maxer, I'm playing without add-on. This is a choice I made because I want to prove to everyone that it's possible to be a good player, to do well your job without single add-on. See you next time, bye bye everyone.